Hey yo, what up? Welcome. Put that on something. RggiTV, man. I appreciate y'all for coming back. This is episode number, I think, 3. We at episode number 3. And anybody that know, of course, RggiTV, put that on something. It's about all topics. All topics. We all talk about the things that we are in life, fathers, husbands, all of that. So we want to touch on all topics. Today's topic happen to be sports. We're going to talk about DraymondGreen. But first, without further ado, I want to, of course, welcome in my co-host, Lou. You want to take the
Hello, everybody. What's going on? Glad to be back. And I think this is going to be a hot one, just talking about, Draymond Green and, his role on his team, the Warriors, and, some of the things that's been happening with him over the last, I say, couple of years, actually.
Right. Yeah, so, without further ado, if this is your first time to the channel, thank you, welcome, appreciate you for joining. Put that on something, RggiTV. We're here to bring you, different kind of content. So, welcome. Definitely take a chance to check out some of the older stuff that we have up, on the channel. But I want to kick it off with Lou this time. Actually, I'm going to kick it off with Draymond Green. What's going on, bro? What you think is going on?
Man, so look, this is my thing, and I've been watching, basketball for quite a few years. You've seen, more egregious, offenses, over the years. I don't think anything that Draymond Green has been involved in has gotten to, the level of, let me just say, for instance, like, a full-on fist fight. It hasn't been any really full-on fist fights without people being there to kind of break it up. In those situations, somebody's going to be real close to kind of dismantle all of what may happen. You know what I mean? If it really got, real gritty out there, And so, but as far as I'm concerned with Draymond, I feel like the boy seemed like he might be on thin ice, man. Like if any more situations happen, my boy might see himself on the outside looking in.
I have to say that I agree to a certain extent about Draymond. I think that's also a little bit of us being a product of our environment. We came up, we watched hoops in the late '80s, early '90s. We watched a different brand of basketball where people were doing different things. A tough defense was almost fouling hard. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was just different. I think our initial thought process with a lot of the way that Draymond plays is some of that lens is a little bit from the era where we come from, which is honestly, I think it's just, what can we do about that? That's where we come from.
True.
But being real, talking about Draymond and how he reacts and what's going on with him, he is able to get away with a lot of what he does, which I do agree with you is almost like you're on thin ice, buddy. I do agree with that, but the reason why he's been able to get away with that for so many years, in my personal opinion, is what he adds to a team. And people be talking about, Draymond's the single double, what do they call it, a single triple double or whatever it is, where you got a single number in three different categories. But it really is
a triple single.
Yeah, triple single. Yeah, it really is not more than what is on the stat sheet than what that dude adds to a team.
I agree,
and I think that is the reason why a lot of the hockey assists that he sets up just based on his crisp passing and his understanding of where people are in timely passes, where they are on target. Like people just take little stuff like that for granted. That pocket passes where people can catch and shoot don't just come a dime. That everybody's not able to just do that. You see what I'm saying? That's not a thing, especially coming from a power forward who can guard all 5 positions, who's the captain on defense, who is your enforcer, who is all of these different things. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I don't think that Draymond be tripping sometimes. Like sometimes I think he go overboard. Absolutely. Like absolutely, I think you crossed the line on several occasions where you may have went a step too far. You know that you probably shouldn't have taken it a step too far. But I
But
think that comes with the territory.
yeah, but you know what? I would even say, even taking to this into to account, I feel like Draymond has now become more of a Hollywood player than an actual player. Now, let me explain that. I feel like now the fighting is not just fighting. I feel like it's a character, something that he now is portraying now. He feels like he has to step in that role. He has to be the one to like whatever because it's his character now. Like it's no longer, that, what something happened, I think the other night, somebody had a hard foul. I think it was they were playing Denver and I don't even think he had anything to do with the fight. I think he just was the mouthpiece for the Warriors. You know what I mean? Trying to say, what
Which
he,
he often
which he often, but I think a lot of it be, like some of these kids, when I say a lot of them just be cat, bro. Like you just really just, you ain't even really mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just kind of taking a role that you feel like you're supposed to take. And
right.
it don't really even be about nothing, whatever case may be. It's like almost like an unbelievable thing now that you get as upset or, or you get to that point or whatever the case may be, and wasn't even called for that. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. But when you talk about like it being a situation where uh, the Hollywood aspect coming into it, then that goes into a whole other realm. When we talked about on our first episode, when we talked about the antics and things that entertainment and it being a business and it being eyes and clicks and who's viewing this and what's going on repeat on ESPN and all that kind of stuff. I do agree with you to a certain extent that a lot of it is a role he played. He feels that it is been created at this point, and now I don't have an option. Like I have to be this person. What would Draymond be if he was meek and didn't say nothing, didn't talk, and just kind of came in like he wouldn't even be the same. He
Or
wouldn't even be the same guy. You see what I'm
or
saying?
like
Like so.
would you let's just say for instance, would you be that person with the Anthony Masons of the world, with the Charles Oakleys of the world, with Shaq in his prime? Would you still be the person? I honestly believe he will become a different player that knows how to humble himself. But I feel like the Jordan Clarksons, he know how to, this dude he know how to bully, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but you got to think about it also too. He is also a product of his era. It's not really his fault that he came up in an era where he was in the locker room with the Bad Boys Pistons as a freshman, in high school and going and winning championships in high school and being around Auburn Arena and being around Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace and seeing how they operate and then coming up and being in a pro in an era of not as aggressive and being in a soft era.
right?
That's the era he came through in.
Okay.
So some of it I do agree with is you know obviously Draymond just being Draymond and being into a role, but obviously some of it is also it being its era and
That was,
it seeming more egregious and more overly aggressive in a softer era where things like that are not really tolerated like they were. Because again, we have an example of him when Meta World Peace or Ron Artest as we call him, he had an opportunity. We went up against Ron Artest and he wasn't barking like that. And we see that's on film. I'm
that's
gonna
what I'm
drop that
trying to
right
say.
here.
When crazy walk up on
You
crazy,
know what I mean? But
you know.
because you kind of like you're crazy ain't that crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like you said,
Well, that should
being
be.
real.
See now see if you're a real one from where you from Saginaw or whatever the case may be. I think
Yeah,
Saginaw, Michigan. Now, if you're a real one, you want to match with somebody that can match your intensity. Like most of anybody that I know would be like, I don't want the person to be scared of me. You know what I mean? Like then it's an
right.
unfair advantage. But you sure was able to. tuck your tail when it seemed like it was somebody that was ready for that smoke, though. You know what I mean? And you don't seem like you get in the faces of those who can kind of match your energy, as far as I'm concerned, as far as Draymond. And I believe, old boy from the Detroit right now, the crazy dude, you know, he like a young dude. I think going after LeBron. I think at one point or whatever.
Oh yeah,
What I don't remember his name.
actually
The dude.
the elbow.
I think he just got arrested for something too recently. But don't forgive me on that if I'm not correct on the
Yeah,
right
we
the
gonna
right
put the story right here.
the right
Yeah, you're fine.
person. We can look it up. I want to say I don't see Draymond ever finding a situation to get in that dude's face. I think he'll let Steve Kerr do it.
You know, I mean, there's probably some validity to that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Because it's
There's probably a
Hollywood.
lot of validity to that. But I also think that to me, iron sharpens iron too. And I think if he was challenged more, then maybe he would stand up more against those people. You got to also think about the times that he's faced. And, again, we just came up in a different era. You had to fight. We played in the playgrounds and everything that you had. You better be hard. You better be tough, or they're gonna punk you.
But his
And you had to be like that at all times. So all I'm saying is for Draymond and his era, when he is being boastful and he doesn't get combated often enough, maybe that is a deterrent. Whereas in Ron Artest's day, he was combated, and it taught him to keep going, to go back and forth at people and not take it, which then breeds a different thing. Iron sharpens iron. You see what I'm saying?
right.
So I do think that there may be a lot of what we see with Draymond is like, I don't think that he would probably be. Yeah, maybe so. If he's not never really challenged, you know what I mean? You're never really put in a position to where somebody kind of comes back at
And I
you.
look
You
at
know
it
what I mean?
more so because you brought up a great name. Rasheed Wallace was a great name, but I don't see him on the
Right.
same level as Rasheed Wallace. I felt like Rasheed Wallace was, the upper echelon of those, players that can match anybody. Rasheed Wallace would match with Shaq's energy when he didn't care nothing about Shaq. You see what I'm saying?
No, he didn't.
He didn't care
He
nothing about
didn't.
nobody. You see what I mean? Like
I agree.
he was like the standard as far as like you gonna have to deal with him. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
He
him,
not worried about
KG, those kind
nobody.
of guys. Yeah,
I
yeah,
look at
those kind of guys. Him.
Draymond more of like a Pat Beverly. You just want to be a pest. You know what I'm saying? You just want to get up under somebody's skin, but you really ain't about that all the time with everybody. Like I said,
I mean,
you
I
swung
do
on the white
agree.
boy. You swung on the white boy. You know what I mean? Like you swung on Clarkson. You know what I'm saying? You taking off on these dudes. You know what I'm saying? That look like they be going to go get Burt Williams pamper days and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he don't be doing that to the rugged.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't deny that. Like I said, he's often not combated a lot of times too. But I agree. You know what I mean? You are tested against who you go up against, and again, it's not a lot of that in our era. Like I said, like the KGs that we had, and the Rasheed Wallace, KG and Rasheed Wallace would go at it, and it would
Right,
be a battle. You see what I'm saying? And whether it's be the shit talking, or whether it's kind of just a battle back and forth with points, like, oh, you scored and give me the ball, I'm going down, and I'm going right back at him. I mean, I remember those Portland,
right,
Minnesota games back in the prime days. You see what I'm saying? Like
right.
when Sheed and KG was going at it. Those are two guys that wouldn't back down from each other. And again, iron sharp as iron. You going up against somebody, these type of people. Even when they talk about Timmy. Timmy was quiet, but everybody knew Timmy quietly talked a lot of mess. You know what I mean? Under his breath, just about how you couldn't see him. You know what I mean? He everybody. You could listen to the stories with KG talking and all that about how Timmy be clowning because you can't see him. He'll let you know throughout the game how
That's true.
bad you getting done. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
It's just like And again, he may not have had the boastful manner, but he was bred in a time where you had to come at it. It wasn't no other option. You were going up against other guys that were going to give you that heat,
Right.
especially playing in the West. And coming into the league where you had already established dominant centers like Patrick Ewing, Elijah Wan. These dudes are all coming in at this time. You
And
see
they
what
was
I mean?
mean,
Like,
dude. These was mean dudes.
these are mean dudes. Elijah Wan, people don't understand. Elijah Wan was a mean
He
dude.
was.
He
He
would
was.
swing on you in a minute.
Of
Like, he'd
course.
swing on you and throw, like, man, please. People see that dude like King of the Dream, man. Elijah Wan was a dog. I
Believe
mean,
us.
like, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But you came into a league where they fire off on you for talking crazy on the court. You see what I'm saying? Like, and get a $25 fine.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like, so it's like Draymond just don't have to go up against that. Do I agree to a certain extent that maybe combated with those type of individuals? Would he back down? Do I agree with that? Yeah, I would probably put my money on him not necessarily taking on that challenge on a regular basis.
But why? But why?
Do I?
So in other words, why be that guy if you're not going to be that guy all the time? If you're going to be
Because you're
selective,
in that. Because you're being that guy in an era of guys where you're not challenged. So it has more of an impact. You wouldn't have an impact in the 90s. It only has an impact now because of the era you play in and the fact that you're not combative. You're not opposed by anybody about your opinion or your attitude and how you coming at people. Who gonna check you?
and that's the reason why he's Pat Beverly.
That's not the difference. Pat Beverly is an irritant. I think there's
Both of them, though.
another level.
I would give both of them that, especially for their defensive. I would give them both of that. They're both
Yeah,
they're plus.
yeah. Honestly, I do. I see where you're going with it. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna oppose it. I just think that Patrick Beverly takes irritant to another whole level.
He does. He does.
It's almost like a naggy little brother that's you holding his head and you got the ball up here. Draymond don't give me that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what Pat Bev gives me. They both naggy and irritant, but he gives me like, yeah. That's what Pat Bev gives me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like
And the
come out of
crowd
the
feeds
tunnel.
on both of them. When they both ball, and the crowd feeds on both
They
of them.
have their own. Yeah, they do have both of them have their own
They
way
got
of
that.
impacting the game. Yeah.
Getting everybody. It's like they'll do that. Get up under your skin.
They both have their way of impacting the game outside of the game. You know what I mean? Like, if we really being real, they can influence the game during the timeout. You know what I mean? They ain't got nothing to do with the flow of the game. They can just based on antics and doing this to the crowd and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to say
so
they might be like
they are
1A and 1B as far as that's concerned in the whole league.
that.
In the whole league.
I get that. I do feel that to me, in my personal opinion, because of what Draymond adds to the game from a basketball perspective, that's why he's less of an irritant. Beverly do a lot of talking, and then you don't even really be impacting the game like that.
I got you, especially
You
on
see what
both,
I'm saying? Like,
especially on both ends of the floor. You know what I mean?
It's just a comment. It's just a fact. That's all I'm saying. Even when it comes to like just Draymond and getting assists, just getting other people set up, Beverly don't do none of that. Like, Draymond's imprint on the game is a bigger imprint from both aspects. This the irritant defensive stopper, and as well as like I'm in the game, getting offensive rebounds, putbacks, stopping, getting block shots, pushing the ball on a break. Like he's doing all of that
No,
when
I
he's in the
agree.
game.
No, I agree. He
You
sets
see what
up.
I'm saying? So that's why I'm
He
like
sets up
Beverly.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
That's
I
why
get
I'm like Beverly. A lot of that is like you just talking, and then you out here, bro. You ain't even really doing that.
You only gonna be on the floor for 3 more minutes.
Right. And then you're gonna be talking on the way to the bench.
And then he's gonna be on the bench. And he's gonna be talking as much on the bench as he was when he was in the game.
Exactly. And that's my point. It's like you're just annoying, and you have 2 points, you had 1 rebound, and you had an offensive foul that you drew a charge. You see what I'm saying? Great, excellent job, though. But it's not the same impact.
And I think that also makes or helps to make my point too. Draymond, you are a baller, so just play.
Right.
You can just play. Like you're not really. You know what I mean? You're not really that dude because you're not that dude with everybody. You're very
Right.
selective on who you want to be with, and you actually a baller. So why don't you just ball? Why don't you just be a baller?
Like I said, I just think it's because it's the opposition. If you just break it down to the opportunity for him to be opposed in this day and age is minimal. So if I am this way, I'm going to get away with it 98% of the time. Versus that if I try to be this way in an era where 85% of the guys ain't having it, your impact is minimal, sir.
But I don't think. I mean, really, to tell you the truth, in today's game, is it even really needed to be going all of that? I mean, because you're playing against a bunch of. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Like
a whole other question.
that's what makes it more of a Hollywood scripted.
That's true.
You
I
know,
mean, but I think that goes to be seen depending on that goes from a game to game because you also think about people that you're able to get under their skin and impact them. They're able to lose the ball down because he's able to. That's a game to game kind of. Some of it maybe has a bigger influence on one game versus to another game where maybe he's just doing a lot of flapping and he's not really making a lot of difference. So I think that ultimately, you know, if to say that maybe it is needed in today's game or not needed in today's game, you could argue that it maybe is not. But I would also say, does talking mess irritate people and impact them in their ability to capitalize and play game? Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, that is a
I
day and
definitely
old
do. I
thing.
definitely do.
They always been able to talk mess to people and get them to mess up or get nervous or whatever that is. So I kind of think like even though maybe the boastfulness, like getting ready to square up, may not necessarily be needed, but his that boastful attitude and talking mess and
Well,
get
that
yeah,
point right there, I would always, if he played for me, I would want him to keep that. That's something I
that's what
never.
I'm saying.
That's something I would never want to leave.
Where do you draw the line? You know what I mean? There's a fine line between that because it gets to a point where you talk enough, somebody want to square up. You know what I'm saying?
Right? And
It's
then
like so you get. It's like if I'm gonna have Draymond, I got to take all of Draymond.
well, how do
I,
how do other people handle it when Draymond is in their face? That's how you
it
handle it.
depends on the person. It
It's
depends on
true.
the person.
But I'm saying most people. I'm just saying most. Draymond again on a regular basis wants to jump into somebody's face that don't really want to be in his face. You see what I'm trying to say?
Maybe
And you
there
walk
are the
away, and you
people.
walk away from it. You let your teammates get in the middle of it. You whatever be that. I'm saying you're a baller, Draymond, and you really don't want to smoke for everybody. Like you, I just think a lot of it is just real. Like again, a little bit more Hollywood than it is, and scripted than it is like really, really Draymond and who he is. Because again, with Meta World Peace, and some other situations that I've seen, old boy from Miami. I forgot what his name is, but not
Was
Damian
it Joe?
Jones.
Was it Johnson?
Yeah, that dude will hurt
The
somebody.
karate dude, the black belt dude. I think he was talking
Don't
about.
nobody mess with him. Don't
No,
know.
everybody knows. Everybody know what
Everybody in
time
the
it is,
league
though.
know. Everybody in the league know. Nobody and look, old boy said last time, he's just like, man, look, he was walking away, said, you know what? I'm working on myself. He
Right.
said, I'm gonna just walk away because I'm working on myself right now. Which means he'd have hurt you. He probably would have,
It hurt you back. It hurt you back. For real.
you
Like,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
those kind of people, you leave those people
And you
alone,
gotta
bro.
know, even for a person like Draymond, who actually is, you putting up a facade right now, and that can get you picking up your teeth.
I mean, absolutely. They don't want the right one.
So be
You know what I
careful.
mean?
You got yeah, and if it ain't really you,
Absolutely.
buddy,
But the risk reward, you know what I mean? Like I said, in most times he's making a positive impact on the game. He's making a positive impact on his teammates. He's motivating the crowd. Out of those 41 home games you get, you're getting the crowd involved. You're getting people in the seats. You're getting sports center clicks.
what
You're
about
getting
when
the
you get
views.
suspended for 8 games?
That may very well be true, and sometimes you cross the line. But I think that you get that with all of the other benefits, and occasionally you're gonna be gone for 5 to 7 games. You might be gone. You know what I mean? But for the other 30 games that you was here, we were sold out. We was on the #1 story on ESPN. We was the team, the Golden State Warriors getting all this free publicity for no reason. You know, all of this stuff is happening. You see what I'm
I
saying?
mean, he definitely is a component to keep them relevant. And like I said,
It,
he's a component because there's always some news or something going on with the dude.
right.
You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
and Steph, you know, of course, you're great that you always have Steph. You got Clay who's fading. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, Draymond is a part of the dynamic that kind of keeps them edgy.
And you know what? And that's a great point that you bring because that actually hurts my heart, man. Seeing my boy fading, man. You know, which means Draymond got it hurt. I mean, I know all them injuries caught up to him and everything like that, but Clay, I believe Draymond is still a warrior in a lot of ways because Clay is declining too.
Yeah, I mean,
Does
I
that
think
make
that
sense?
Draymond is. I agree, but only to a certain extent. Because I think Draymond will still be a warrior based on Steph being there because of how he plays. He is a part of that engine. So even if Clay isn't doing as well or whatever it is, their style of play is generated through Draymond's energy and his ability to take the ball on the break, grab it off the glass, pushing himself,
Right,
create for other people off coming off a screen.
right,
So as long as they can play that style, I think that they would have wanted Draymond to be around. They want to minus a lot of the antics. Yeah, do they want him suspended all the time? Absolutely not. Of course not. You know what I mean?
right.
But I'm saying to you, ultimately, I think that he's a part of the engine. He's a carburetor. G, you see what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
you can't just go
I
get
agree.
another guy to do
But I
that.
also
Yeah, you
believe
know what I
that
mean?
his role has increased and he's more valuable now that Clay is no longer who he used to be. You know what I mean? So you definitely think about holding on to the Draymonds or whatever the case may be, because to tell you the truth, uh, Steph is always going to be number one. I think Kaminga now would be number two or whatever, but Draymond is the three. Draymond's three. Steph, Kaminga, who is untouchable, they won't trade him to nobody. You know what I mean? They say he's untouchable. And then Draymond
Uh,
Green. They might be sending Clay.
Here's why. Yeah, here's why I disagree. Let me tell you why. I disagree because I think that is Clay's decline is ultimately is a part of what the team result of the team's decline. I think the Golden State Warriors were still going to be on the hunt to find his replacement, which is why they bring in that other young kid that looked just like Steph. It's another kid, like you said, comedian. They were that was their team because they knew Clay once the double knee surgery, Achilles, like it was just they already knew. They knew what time it was. They just know the jumper is the last to go. So and he's a warrior. He was drafted there. If Clay's attitude, that brings me to another point where just Clay's attitude and his approach towards basketball and his willingness to just be like, I come off the bench to do what it takes to just still stay around the game and stuff like that, is unmatched. There is no star most of the time in history, you know, outside of your Ray Allens, and there's a few of them that were like that, but they played major roles. They was major roles. You see what I'm saying? Like Clay is really willing to take a back seat and just come off the bench playing 12, 13 minutes a game. That's just unheard of for somebody that scored 37 points in the quarter. You know what I mean? Like still
Right,
got a record. You know what I mean? 60 points on 11 dribbles.
right.
Ever been done. See what I'm saying? Like, so it's really unheard of. But at the same time, I do think that the Warriors were still going to make Draymond an interest and impact regardless of Clay's decline. And I think that they were still always on the hunt to replace that ever since he went back down in that finals and they were done. Like they knew that they were going to have to replace him.
So
They just know that they can't.
at no point did you believe that with all of what was going on with Draymond, that he was potentially would be a person that they might trade away or not?
No, the only place that they knew that would work is if he go play with LeBron. Ain't no other team because they don't have what Draymond needs to be successful. 9-9 don't look good to them with somebody who could. They don't have Steph and Clay. It's not. We're not in the hunt to go get a guy like that to help us in Detroit. Yeah, you can get rid of the contract, but what are you gonna do for us?
Right.
We don't have the personnel to support that. Like He got to go play with somebody like LeBron. Huh?
not any of the teams. Like he only picked
None.
on the Warriors.
Or teams like that have another dynamic person that can play off the ball and use Draymond's skill set to help bolster what they already have.
I mean, the
Like
closest thing
LeBron.
that I can
LeBron
think
needed
about,
somebody else.
or
Go ahead.
AD,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But they needed somebody else to do that. That was the Lakers' issue. That LeBron had to be the creator.
right?
And Draymond only works in a situation like that. That's the only way. That's the only way he works. You can't just put him on like a random team like the Utah Jazz or the Detroit Pistons because those are the teams that have the money to pay him. You see what I'm saying? From what he worked, and he's not going to be an asset. There's no trade value. You see what I mean? Like
Right.
the Warriors know you're more of an asset in house. You're gonna put more butts in the seats by you staying here. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you help Steph. Steph is great, but Steph is also great because then passes be on point when he coming off them double screens. They're on the money.
Yeah.
And you're able to catch and shoot. You see what I'm saying? You work here. you drafted here. This is how it works. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The whole system was built around these three guys.
It's true.
They were just on the hunt to replace Clay and they haven't found that. You see what I'm saying? Like he's just having, and that's why you're the 12 seed or whatever, 8 seed, 9 seed, 10 seed, whatever it is in the West. You struggle since then. You see what I'm saying? Like, because Steph gonna Steph, he gonna give you 32.
It's kind of
You know
crazy.
what I mean? But it's like,
I don't know if it's an Adam Silver thing or whatever, but it seemed like I don't know what it is about Draymond and the Warriors, but I feel like Draymond and got more, maybe gotten away with a lot more than most who look like us. You see what I'm saying? Like usually, you might see somebody be removed in some ways after having this many issues on one particular team. You don't see a person stay this long, on any team with having all of what's going on with what's happened with Draymond. I'm just saying any player. Meta, you know what I mean? He had his little, malice in the palace, and then it was almost like a rap after that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people knew he was going to be moving on. That wasn't going to be the last team he was going to play for. Like, you know what I mean? But Draymond, he might retire with the Warriors. You know what I mean? Only with one team.
yeah.
And the dude been in like how many skirmishes?
But not having, and that's to me the difference. It's like none of his stuff is ever escalated to a point outside of him swinging on Nurk. None of it's escalated to that point. That's why. Bro.
Well, I said that's why I say they know they say it's safe. I said that in the beginning, like, because they know it ain't nothing gonna really happen. Go ahead.
Right, but you also say you feel like he got away with more, and that's why I'm like I don't really know because I just feel like he just told a line. I don't ever really feel like he ever really just goes over and beyond. And the time that he did was even close to me, like the time to kick up within LeBron's supposedly kick LeBron in the groin or whatever.
When he stepped on, who did he step on when he was running back? Like he stepped on some. Was it AD? Might have been like AD.
Sabonis. I think it was
Sabonis.
He stepped
and his balls.
But even still, those are not to me malice. That's not malice. It's not malice in the palace.
It's a little. It's not malice. It's not going to go hit a fan. You know what I mean? But
and he got suspended for those. Take your games. Take a couple games and get out of here. They wasn't. They're not even remotely close to those.
He gave the stomp too. The homie gave it.
And you took your games. Take your games, bro. I don't think he gets away with nothing. I think he toes the line, and I feel like that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. He knows how to be just boastful and have enough antics, just enough to make people a little bit uncomfortable, and make me feel like maybe he's getting away with something, but he didn't really even do nothing but just be loud and irritating.
Well, I mean, this is all I'm trying to say is, just like in HR, they got a paper trail. You can't take this into next season and thinking it's gonna same thing. Like eventually, I do believe if he keep it up without thinking about it in any way, shape, or form that it's gonna have any negative bearing on him, I would be I would be smarter than that. Because I think my boy got a little he got a little what am I trying to say? The cameras is on him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got the radars on him.
He
He got
got
the
the
spotlight
radars
on him a
on him.
little bit.
Definitely.
So look, like I agree. I'm not even gonna say that I don't think that that his antics and that he doesn't have a history. You know what I mean? Like it would be foolish of me to say that he doesn't have a history. I do agree. Yeah, as far as like I said, I feel like everything that he's done that he should have been punished for the most part, he's been punished for. Do I feel like his talent gives him a little leeway? Yeah, but he ain't the first one to get that.
And you feel
It's been plenty of people.
and you feel
Huh?
the crime fit the punishment, the games fit the whatever
Yeah.
it was.
I feel like for what you did, bro, you didn't. He didn't do nothing crazy.
What was
He
his
didn't do
last
nothing
suspension?
crazy like that.
What did he get? 5 games for hitting old boy?
8 games
He
or
got 8
16
games.
games or something like that. Yeah, it was like 16 games. It ended
I
up
didn't think
being
I thought
something
he
like
only
that.
got like 8 games.
No, it ended up being more than that. It ended up being more than that. But I think it was, and maybe I'm wrong. We can fact check it and I throw it up on the screen. You know, when we find out, get the exact one. But whatever it was, I feel like this guy got what he deserved. He talked to based on what he did with Nurk, he was tripping. I would be the first one to admit, right? But you swinging like whirling dervish, like what are you doing, bro? Like you tripping? Go
Tripping.
sit down.
I mean,
Go sit down.
but that's not really toting the line though. That's just tripping.
No, that's crossing. I'm saying on average he toes the line.
Oh, got it.
He does go over the line, and when he goes over, your hand get popped, and you go sit down, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like.
Right?
But on average, he's right there. He's just loud enough and just extra antics and doing it just enough
All the way
to
at the
where
edge
it's
of the
like
cliff looking over. That's what he's at.
right. He's
Right.
always right there.
Always at the
And then
edge.
that's why I feel like your track record is a lot longer than what it really is, because a lot of the time it's just like you just doing almost
Too
enough,
much.
and then sometimes you go overboard. You know what I mean?
Right?
Hey, on that note, hey, I think I gotta. You hear somebody knocking? I'm sorry. No. I was in here filming, bro. I got my neighbor coming through.
No, it's all good, man. But we can wrap this one up.
Nah, man, look, bro. This is a good topic though, because I do think that we always talk about people getting the opportunity to get away with certain things, getting because of their talent, carrying them further, or giving them a little bit more leeway in other areas and other. But I agree with you on your overall take that Draymond be tripping sometimes, and he also probably wouldn't be combating people who gave him a little bit more opposition.
Right?
In his fight to try to be this enforcer in the league. You know what I mean? But at the same time, maybe that's a message to the rest of the league, bro. You know what I mean? Stand 10 toes, bro. Stop letting this dude run and run around all crazy in your face. You see what I mean?
That's good.
Again, I would be a shorty doo-wop out there, but you gonna have to knock me out, bro. You see what I'm saying? You
Right?
gotta knock me out.
Right. You got to be about that.
Otherwise, you ain't gonna be talking to me crazy.
You
see
got
what
to
I'm
be
saying? That's
about
the only
that.
way you're
For
gonna be
real.
talking.
For real.
Huh?
And you might get stolen
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
First.
You gonna get stuck. And then you're a big dude compared to me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm probably maybe I lose that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm willing to lose.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? I'm willing to lose. To not be disrespected. Some dudes ain't willing to lose.
Right. And I'm gonna get my 8 games too. I might get more than 8. You know what I mean?
I might get more than 8. And they gonna cost me more because I don't make money to make the money that you make.
But
It's gonna hurt me a little
but
bit
guess
more.
what? I'm gonna be bigger tomorrow than I was today because of it.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna be well respected.
Believe that.
And it's like Rico said, they gonna pay it in full. Don't worry about it, because when I come home, I'm still gonna be the king.
Believe that. Yes, sir.
Everybody will respect me for it. And the same way, he gonna keep treating y'all the same way and keep talking crazy to people and keep treating people like they soft until y'all stand up.
And every time that you act the way you act, they're gonna bring me up.
Right. On how many gonna get Reggie? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. How many go? I call BigLOU. I call Lou and them.
Remember what happened last time? You was talking.
You remember you wasn't having all that energy then. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. To somebody stand up, bro. Everybody be backing down, acting like he just Debo. It's like you know where we come from. Friday was filmed in our hood. That's where we from.
Right.
We know all about that. Everybody had a Debo in their hood. Like somebody scared.
Oh, believe that.
Yo. You got to see me.
Mm-hmm.
I got old
got to see me.
Mm-hmm.
I got
yes, sir.
And then when I lose, you know what? You probably got to see me until you feel right about it.
I just bought a new old
Oh, yeah. Till I get tired.
I feel good. I feel good inside. You know what I'm saying? You feel better about it. Now,
where your clothes at?
you gotta, that's the energy we coming with. West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. Hey, everybody hit that like, share, subscribe button, man. Another episode, put that on that. Episode 3 coming at y'all right now. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all.